Back on Good Morning Football, Micah Hyde of the Buffalo Bills set to join us shortly, but we've got Will Selva out, who does not need to be dealt with. He needs to be welcomed with open arms and just air hugged on this Friday.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kay. Nice save there. I appreciate that. The Eagles are one game behind the Cowboys in the NFC East. Working in their favor is the second easiest remaining strength of schedule in the NFL. The remaining opponents have a combined win percentage of .350. What hasn't worked in their favor is the offense's performance. The unit has been among the league's worst since week 6. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher since week 4, 2017. The Eagles are one of 10 teams, besides Seattle, that quarterback Russell Wilson has not lost to in his career. Wilson says Philly is much better than what its record indicates.
You know, the record doesn't show, how talented they really are. I think that when you turn on the film, you think, man, these guys are flying around. They're all over the place. They've won some big games. They've lost some tough ones, too. So I think the reality is they've got all the players that they've had for the most part, when they won the Super Bowl for the most part. And they got a lot of other, talented players that they've brought in and stuff.
As for one of Wilson's favorite targets, wide receiver Tyler Lockett, well, he's listed as a limited participant for the second straight day. Another indication that he'll likely be available against the Eagles. Lockett recovering from a lower leg contusion suffered in the Week 10 win over the 49ers. Now, teammate Jadeveon Clowney sat out the last 2 practices with knee and hip injuries. He was not seen on the field in the portion open to reporters. Clowney is part of a defense that has allowed 25.4 points per game this season, the most since 2010. Now, Clowney was asked about his impending free agency, and he says he doesn't care about looking down the road. He went on to add his focus is on getting the Seahawks to the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Get him, Micah, get him. And Hyde tracks him down.
Great play by Micah Hyde. I love the aggressiveness.
Brady going to throw it. Pressured, rolls right, looks right, fires into the end zone. Intercepted! Intercepted in the end zone. Micah Hyde has it.
Picked off by Micah Hyde in the end zone.
That's how you keep him out of the end zone. Micah Hyde with the interception, and it could not have come at a better time.
Joining us right now is one of the best defensive backs in the game. He was a Pro Bowler in 2017. He could be headed back this year. He's an anchor of a defense that is allowing the 3rd fewest points in the league. And a vital part of a secondary has given up the 3rd fewest passing yards in the league. Please welcome Bills safety, one of the best in the business, Micah Hyde. Micah, what's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing, man? Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Micah, now, headed into Week 12 last year, you guys were 3-7. Oh, how things have changed. You guys are now 7-3. What has been the biggest difference this year versus last year's Bills?
I think the confidence, man. I think coming into this season, Sean has been preaching the process. Guys have been buying in, and from there, just the confidence and willing to get better. And, you see the year turnaround.
And your fan base is confident and loyal, and a lot of them on Twitter are saying we're going to roll right past the Broncos. So confidence is one thing, but when people think, and maybe even within that organization think that it's a mismatch, you're sitting there at 7-3, the Broncos just the opposite of that, 3-7, starting a 3rd-string quarterback. Yeah. How do you as a team and personally avoid getting complacent and overlooking Denver?
This is the NFL. Nobody inside this building is really overlooking, any of our opponents. We understand it's going to be a hard-fought match come Sunday. So, whether it's the Denver Broncos, whoever it is, we're looking forward to that next game, and we're only focused on that game.
Micah, there's this sort of limp national impression of you guys that the Bills have a great record, but they haven't really beaten anybody. And a few weeks ago, I thought you had an incredible quote. After you beat the Redskins, you said you were, quote, done apologizing for wins. We love that. Why do you think the Bills, even at 7-3, are not getting recognition they deserve?
Well, we're playing who our schedule says to play. And, if we're going out there winning ball games, then that's all that matters. I said that a couple weeks ago, I'm done apologizing for wins because I feel like everybody wants us to blow out these teams with, under 500 records. So that's not going to happen. This is the NFL. It's going to be a close game, especially going into the 4th quarter. And from there, you got to make something happen in the last 2 minutes. So, you know, we're playing the games that are on our schedule, and we're trying to win those ball games, and we're going to continue to do that.
You guys are one of the best defenses in the league, Micah, and you know, whether it's McDermott, who's a defensive coach, Leslie Frazier, Jim Salgado, like there's so many veteran defensive coaches there, and yet
Salgado,
I think maybe your biggest play this season came on a special teams play. So let's go through the onside kick that you returned for a touchdown to put the Dolphins away. Take us into this here. How often do you practice this?
It's amazing.
And the athletic ability it is to not only go up and get it, but bring it back for the score. Forget your safety play. How about your special teams move?
Well, I got some special teams history in the past, you know, being a returner when I was my first 4 years in Green Bay. But you know, on that play, I had faith in the guys in front of me. You know, I knew that they were going to, you know, do a great job blocking for me. So I knew, you know, as soon as I jumped for the ball, that I was going to be protected. And from there, I kind of just landed it. You know, I saw Coach after the game, you know, and he kind of gave me a little smirk, like, you know, you should have went down, the game's over. But that end zone was just, it was speaking to me. And I told him next time I'll go down, but that time I had to take it in.
Micah, don't go down, bro. Don't go down. I'm trying to tell everybody here at the table, that is one of the hardest plays ever, to catch it, go blind for a second, and then turn around and return it for a house call. Like, that's a difficult play to make, man. I know you're doing the humble thing, but come on.
Yeah, it is. It was difficult. It was crazy. You know, all the defensive guys were saying, if you would have went down, we don't mess with you no more. But so I did the right thing in the defensive players. Yeah.
All right, Micah, so one of the biggest reasons why you guys are so successful this year is because of your quarterback, Josh Allen. And you went as far as saying he's playing confident and that he could be, quote, one of the best in the league. Now, that's pretty high praise from a guy who spent 4 years of his career with Aaron Rodgers. What makes Josh Allen so special, and how confident are you that he is the perfect guy for the job that could possibly lead you guys to Miami?
Well, I think number one, he's confident. You know, he's playing confident, like you mentioned right now. But I think he's willing to learn. He's always in the building, you know, early. He's trying to learn more things. He's asking, you know, the DBs what they see on stuff and how we can, you know, play better together and all that stuff. So, you know, there's things that, you know, Josh does, and he's a competitor. You know, he wants to win playing ping pong, chess, you know, whatever it may be. That's, you know, a lot of guys in this locker room are like that. So as long as he just keeps that same mindset and is willing to learn and grow, you know, he can be one of the best. And obviously going to come with time. You know, he's in year 2 right now, but, you know, everybody in this organization is rallying around him, and we love what he's able to do for this football team.
And we love this football team and their fan base. I went up to Buffalo, my first trip up there ever. Week 4, I believe it was your first home game. You were hosting the Patriots, and the fan base affected me. They affected me. They stuck with me. I was out there for hours with them. I'd like to know how this fan base has affected you and motivated you.
Well, when I came here in 2017, you know, they all opened me with open arms. They welcomed me with open arms. You know, my family, and I think that, you know, Sean preaches family around here, and it truly feels like Bills Mafia is a family with us. You know, whenever we see them, you know, out of the complex, whatever, they're always showing love. Every away game seems like a home game. You know, it's a blessing to be here and feel like such a family.
And it's great to watch on TV. These shots we're showing right now, Viking helmets and chicken wing helmets, are incredible. Micah, one of the best defensive backs in the league. You do some special teams and you do special causes. You have been a staple in the community in Western New York. You recently held your 3rd annual Imagine for Youth Foundation Thanksgiving dinner with a bunch of your teammates showing up to provide support as you guys fed and entertained 100 kids. Tell us about that event and what it means to you.
You know, yeah, the Imagine for Youth, my foundation I started a few years back in college, actually as a class project, and from there it's kind of blossomed. But it's not just myself, you know, it's my wife that's running it, my parents back in my hometown, the board, and a lot of people from Imagine for Youth. And then from there we try to do a ton of events here in Western New York, and you know, you're showing the video of the 100 kids, the 3rd annual one. It was fun to get in front of those kids and you know, just play games, be a mentor, you know, kind of give them a positive role model. And a lot of those kids are saying they want to, you know, be NFL players one day. And I just, you know, obviously you just tell them just continue to work, continue to be, you know, kind and be a good kid, enjoy being a kid. And from there, you know, it was a fun event.
Awesome stuff, Micah, man. You're winning on and off the field. But here's a request from the table. Next time you get in the end zone, can we get a little celebration, a little choreography, just for us?
Come
on now.
I got you. That's on me.
Okay,
my
guy, Micah Hyde. Thank you, man, Micah Hyde.
Yeah,
Stay
we'll
healthy,
talk to you guys
buddy.
later.
Thanks.
Thank you.
DeAndre Hopkins had the opportunity for 2 said touchdown celebrations last night on Thursday Night Football. Nuke exploded. We've got all the highlights from TNF on the way. If you need help with fantasy football, if you went up against DeAndre Hopkins, well, it's, plain as black and white, your answer. We'll be right back.